So welcome to episode 2 of What's on My Desk today. Yesterday we were looking at the beginnings of a choral piece, and today I'm starting another new piece. I'm going to be writing, I think, 2 pieces kind of in parallel, and this is the very beginnings of a new string quartet that I'm going to be writing. It's got quite a tight turnaround, so hopefully by the end of this series I might be able to show you the complete finished product of this string quartet from the very beginnings right to the kind of the end, so stay tuned for that. It's very similar to yesterday's video, but in a totally different context. For me, harmony is the most important thing when I'm starting to write any piece, whether it's a classical concert piece or a media piece. For me, kind of recognizing and understanding how my notes fit together, interact together, sound together, how they sound emotionally together almost, is really important for me before I even think about instrumentation, orchestration, structure, anything kind of important like that. Really, I want to get my harmony sorted. So what I've been doing here today is kind of manipulating chords in different sort of ways. I'm using things called chord rotations, which is something I've used for a long time, and mirror chords as well. I can go into more detail about them in different videos, which would be far geekier than this. But it's essentially where you take the intervals of your chords and assign a number to them and then move the numbers around in different kind of ways. So for example, this is the first chord, which I was quite happy with, and then the next chord of this kind of sequence sounds like this, and the next one, and then the next one, and so on and so forth. So hopefully you can kind of hear that these chords sort of have the same flavour, the same identity. They have the same sort of DNA almost, because they are all made up of the same intervals, but just in different orders. So that's why I kind of like to start working on harmony in this way, because what I'm doing is I'm taking this initial chord and I'm creating more harmony, which is sort of a development or an extension or a kind of a growth of this original material. And it's really important for me, certainly as a composer, when writing music, to try and make material last as long as possible. You know, the most difficult thing we can do as a composer is sit down with blank manuscript paper and try and create something new all the time. And if we've kind of decided that, okay, I quite like that first chord, well, how long can I make it last? How can I manipulate it? How can I change it? How can I alter it? How can I make it kind of grow in different ways to make it last a bit longer and feel like it's sort of developing? So that's really what I'm beginning to work on in this piece. And it's really important for me, as I said, to kind of know what my harmonic identity of a work is. And it's really critical for me to be able to know how it's going to work before even thinking about instrumentation, orchestration, structure, anything like that. It's really, really important. The next thing I'm doing, or I'm starting to do, is mirroring the chords. So that's where you take the intervals and flip them on themselves. So you end up with chords which, again, sound quite different, but sort of have the same sort of flavour. And so on and so forth. You can kind of hear they have the same sort of intensity about them. And I've done this for years, and it's a really great way of kind of, for me, kind of starting off a work and kind of just really knowing what the basis, what the fundamental idea behind a piece is. Before even, I haven't really decided on what the title's going to be yet, but just kind of knowing what the overall sound is. So once I've kind of worked out what these chords are going to be, I'm going to transpose them around a little bit. I quite often will transpose them through like the cycle of fifths to give them a sense of organic forward motion, for example, so they don't all just sound completely static. You know, they do have some sense of forward momentum. And this is where I can begin to sort of think about the structure. Where do I want that kind of build-up of tension and release? And also, these are all 7-note chords. I don't want to have 7-note chords the whole way through a piece. So how do I kind of take away notes and add notes to them to add tension and add release and kind of think about the overall structure? But this is just the fundamental nuts and bolts of what my harmony is going to do, certainly for maybe the first section of the piece. All just based on this first chord. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed episode 2. Episode 3 will be coming hopefully tomorrow. And as always, if you have any questions, let me know. Ask me a question on Discord. Drop us a comment down below. Please give us a subscribe. And I'll see you for episode 3 tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. See you tomorrow. Cheers.